Hello, this is the Red-Headed Poet. I'm back today with another sculpture. So today I'm going to be doing something. There isn't a ton of literature about it, to be honest, but I had a really cute idea in my head for it when I read about it. It's called the Arkan. I'm pretty sure I have the pronunciation right. I had to look up some pronunciation guides, but I believe it's Arkan. And it is from Manx mythology, which Manx refers to the Isle of Man, which is a little island between Ireland and England. As you can see, I've already started conditioning pieces of clay. I flattened out a bunch because even though I did set the microphone to block out louder noises, it still kind of screws the audio up if I'm super loud with my lovely giant rolling pin here, so that, and it saves time because conditioning clay is kind of boring to watch. I already chose eyes for today's sculpture, and it's going to be a little smaller because this was the only way I could really have red eyes, because the Arkan is basically, it's a little iffy on the description. Everyone seems to take a lot of artistic license, but the basic description is it is a small white pig, potentially with red ears and eyes. It's considered a type of fae or fairy being that if you catch it, you will be blessed with good luck. Now, the term Arkan is also used for hedgehogs. So, I'm thinking, give me 1 second here. So I'm thinking while the term may accurately be used more of a pig-like creature, because it's also used for hedgehogs, I'm going to do kind of a combo of a hedgehog-pig look. But when I looked online, everyone either makes it look like a pig or more like a hedgehog. So we're going to kind of blend those ideas. Lots of people drew it with wings, but I didn't actually see that in the description anywhere, and I think it might come from the fact that the term fairy, often a lot of times we think of fairies with wings, but a lot of times in like Celtic and that region, the fae and the fairy beings don't actually have wings. I was thinking about that the other day, that most of like the banshees and the leonanshees and all the female fairies don't have wings. Then if you get into like the puka or the what's another one, the kachi or the kushi, the fairy cat and the fairy dog, they don't have wings either. Actually, very few of them that I can think of have wings. It's more of a later portrayal, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to have to research that a bit. So we're not going to do wings. We're just going to do a very pig-like little creature, small enough to fit these eyes that I found. They're just red marbles. If you ever want cheap eyes and you don't have anything on hand, just grab little marbles. They work really well for smaller creatures. Or you can buy really cheap, I think it's called cabochons, the half-glass ones with the eye paper on the back. That's what I've been using most of the time. But yeah, so we're going to make it fit the eyes, and then, yeah, we're going to do a hybrid kind of in between hedgehog pig and make it white with little red tipped ears. And I'm thinking about doing maybe a coin in its mouth. Because they're supposed to be lucky, and some of the things associated that with like always having a coin in your pocket or always being able to find money. So I'm gonna take that concept and see if I can make a cute little white piggy animal with a little coin in its mouth. So I have some reference photos up here on the side. So if my voice goes a little distant, it's because or louder, I guess, because I'm looking to the right. But you can probably tell I did alter my overlay so that the video could be larger. I'm still playing with the audio. I apologize if that's been pretty bad. I think the last video wasn't that great. But I'm still learning how that works. Once I get the hang of this, I will start doing live videos more consistently at specific days. But for now, I'm just experimenting, learning how this works. I redid my overlay. I think it looks a little better too with the drawing that I did. And I have transitions now, which you probably saw when I moved to the screen. Like I said, I don't have much money, so I'm making them all myself, and I'm kind of having to learn how to animate as well as draw on a tablet, because I've never really done that up until last year. So it's all a lot of learning curves for me, but hopefully this will be somewhat interesting, somewhat useful. I think we might want to make his head slightly cocked to the right. That'd be kind of cute. Almost like when the puppy dogs look at you and they get confused and they turn their head. Like they're trying to understand. So I think we'll kind of do that. It needs to be a little more elongated like that. Okay, I think one more sheet of aluminum foil, and I've explained it on other videos, but I'll explain it again. Whenever you make thicker clay sculptures out of polymer clay, which I'm using Sculpey 3 right now, they're oven-baked clays, and if you get super thick pieces, more than like an inch or so, it's not the best for the baking. It'll actually end up kind of crumbly, it won't cure all the way through, and you waste a lot of clay. So in order to prevent that, you always want to use an aluminum foiled base. Or a base of something else, just basically something that you can shape and form. Aluminum foil is probably the easiest and the cheapest. But yeah, it wastes a lot less clay, and it makes the clay be able to cure and harden properly. So you don't have a dense, a hard hardened piece of clay on a soft clay core because it didn't cook all the way through. Yeah, and I use Sculpey 3. It isn't my favorite. It's probably my second or third favorite. My first choice would be Fimo Soft, but Fimo Soft was kind of expensive after all of the widespread pandemic and all of that. It became more expensive to ship things, and the Statler company, I believe, that makes it is in Germany, I think. I'm not sure, but it's overseas, and I was having a difficult time finding it for cheap. So I ended up switching to the higher end brands of Sculpey. Now the lower end brands of Sculpey aren't that great. They're more like for kids things, the Sculpey clay that's colored that you see in stores. But if you get the Sculpey Primo Sculpey or Sculpey 3, it's pretty good. Sculpey 3 is a lot like Fimo Soft in texture. So I tend toward this. I like softer clays. Most people I would advise getting a firmer clay than I use. But yep, we're going to start covering this little guy up now that we have our base. Like I said, he's going to be a little smaller than my other sculptures just because I'm limited by the eye size. And if you think about it, if I'm doing like a little, I'm doing a little hedgehog-sized little piggy, I think that's fine. He should be smaller. So, maybe a shorter video. We'll see how long it takes me to make this. Just check and make sure all my audio is good. I'm still learning. I'm using the OBS software to record all of these. So it's been a little overwhelming. Look at all the interface and figuring out how to adjust all the settings. And it's not difficult. It's just a lot to learn. And I know I'm still not doing it well, but hopefully as I do these, the videos will get better. I think I've already improved some things, so. I know my first videos, the audio was very quiet. I realized later I connected it to the webcam camera instead of my microphone, so that has been fixed along with lots of other things. I'm still not happy with the audio settings because I don't fully understand how they work, so. But I will improve very soon. I'm going to do some more research on proper setup. Alright. I also intend in the future to do some videos on my dice making because I also have a TikTok channel that I almost exclusively use for dice, and I'm working on a cool prototype and I guess original design for some health potion things for D&D, and I want to talk about that in a longer video, and I'm going to post some of that on YouTube hopefully. I've also been working on thumbnails, so all of those got changed recently. They're not the greatest, but at least they're more interesting than just random frames from the video. So, trying to make it look a little more professional, a little more appealing, I guess, just by looking at the thumbnail. There's a lot that goes into it. I think I've gained an appreciation for the people who post YouTube videos on the regular. There is a lot of setup that goes in behind the scenes. And mine is still pretty bad looking because I'm not Not the best at digital art, although I did do recently change the profile picture and some other stuff, but I'm always better with hands-on art like this. So, lots and lots of things I am attempting to learn at the same time. And I haven't decided what kind of tail I'm going to give this little guy. I don't know if I want to do a classic pigtail. Hedgehogs don't really have much of a tail. They just have a little stub, if I remember correctly. Hedgehogs have fairly elongated noses compared to pigs, so I may have to see what we can do with that. And hopefully the music's better on this one. I went researching for some other audio tracks. I liked the audio track that I used on the cockatrice video, but it was very staticky after you got halfway through, and it kind of, I'm not sure if it was partially my audio settings or just the track, but I know it kind of was a little too loud and it sounded off in some of the videos, so I apologize for that if you saw those. But I didn't want to lose all the work that I did, so I left it as is. But yeah, I did lots of tests before this one, so hopefully I will not have that same issue. And I'm much closer to my microphone because I moved it over toward me. Because I know I tend to talk too softly. I'm just not a very loud person, so I have to constantly up all the audio. I even attempted to adjust the audio settings so that it would knock out smaller, distant sounds, and I have to be careful because if I set it too much, there's certain things, if I set them, it completely deletes my voice because I talk softly. And so I had to turn several of the settings off because it just kept erasing my voice from all the audio clips. Or filtering it out, I guess would be a better way to put it, but yeah, I have a problem with mumbling, so I'm working on that. It's difficult when you're just doing a video by yourself because you're not actually talking to anyone. You're talking to a perceived audience in the future, potentially. And I don't even have that, so it's very difficult to keep talking. And whenever I talk too much, I start to mumble because no one's actually here and I don't have that feedback of someone responding. So it's been very interesting doing videos like these where I try to talk. I wish I had more to say on this little guy. But I don't really. Alright, let's put that there. Yeah, looking at all these hedgehog photos reminded me that I always wanted a pet hedgehog. They're so cute. But yeah. Even little pigs are cute too, just regular ones. So that's why when I saw this, even though I didn't have a ton of literature to go on for the lore, and there wasn't a ton written about it, I had such a cute idea in my head for it. I was like, I have to do this. If you do happen to watch this video, that would be amazing. And also, feel free to leave a suggestion for something you'd like to see me sculpt. I avoid any sort of copyright or specific story type things, but if we're talking about like traditional mythology, I'm more than happy to try sculpting all sorts of different things from legends. I can do creepy and, you know, I tend toward cutesy type stuff, but I can do creepy and scary stuff. I can do most things. I'm not great at humanoids. My humanoids tend to look a little derpy. I'm not sure why. But I can always try improving that as well. My skills in that regard. But yeah, I am open to suggestions. I am open to attempting anything you'd like to see me sculpt. My take on it, at least. I like making things look cutesy. That was a challenge I did for a little bit. I would try to take creepy things and make them look adorable. But here, I started picking ones that were kind of cute, or at least... I guess the Baku's not necessarily cute that I did, but that one I kind of... Yeah, I did my own take on it to make it look kind of cute. I like cute things. A lot. Okay, let me look here at my references. Okay, so the pig has more of a long snout that flattens, and then the hedgehog's nose is more rounded. So we'll do pig type snout, but with a slightly rounder tip. A little smaller too. Yeah, reading it, I think the original legend was just a pig, a regular pig. But they do use the term for hedgehog, so I'm just not real positive what the accurate, like lore accurate portrayal would be, so. As with most mythology, it changes over time, there's more than one story, and I use that as an excuse to take a little artistic license when I'm not sure. So, let's see, I think... The problem with using marbles is you have to make a much bigger dent to fit them. I'm also trying really hard to keep this sculpture in the center here of the camera, which this little mat I have really helps, because it lets me visually see where the center of the camera is. Because I know when I was painting the last video, the cockatrice, that I had a really bad habit of going outside the lines of the video, off to here, because I kept moving. I was standing, and it was a little awkward at that angle. A little bit further in there. He looks kind of angry now. Okay. But yeah, it said red eyes, and that makes sense if you're thinking of it like it's an albino pig or an albino like hedgehog. They do tend to have very reddish eyes. Hopefully that won't make it difficult to make him cute, but just turn the head to the side a little bit. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some of the eyes, like the eyelid part. And like I explained a couple times, if you want to make eyelids, just take a little piece of clay, roll it out into a little like cylinder like this, then take a tool or a pencil or a paintbrush and just flatten it, and then blend one side real thin, or like smash one side real thin so you can blend it in easy. Then you have a decent looking eyelid. And I have some fancy tools, but I honestly tend to not use them. Like, this is the end of a unused X-Acto knife. The ends of paintbrushes and all sorts of other things are just as useful as the official clay tools that you can buy. Some of the clay tools are quite handy, some of them less so. But there's plenty of substitutes, so you don't have to spend a lot of money trying to buy supplies. And because we don't want to make him angry, we have to make sure the corner of this eye right here is not down too far, because if I push it down, he looks angry. But if I push it up, he doesn't look as angry anymore. So I'm still gonna have to work with that a little bit, but gotta be careful how the eyelids shape, because you'll change the expression quite a bit. Just with little minor changes. There we go, he doesn't look angry now. And I know these eyes almost look luminescent to the camera. They are not. They are just clear glass marbles, and when you shine light on them, they glow. So. Alright. Yeah, if you want sad eyes, you can turn the side corner down a little bit. And surprise, you just have to open them really wide. So yeah, for these I'm not doing too thick of eyebrows because they tend to look angrier the thicker they are. Or sleepy. Alright, now we gotta do the bottom eyelid. Just a little bit. And I'm trying a slightly different shape on this. Flatten this one out. Yeah, in person these eyes almost look black, but whenever you shine them in too much light, they look bright red. Alright, so part of the issue you can probably see is the face is lopsided. This side is rounder, this side is flat. So I'm going to build this one out a little bit. Whenever I do that, I always take a piece of clay, I smooth the edges out so they're paper thin. And that makes it easier to blend into the rest of the clay. And one of the dangers when you're holding it is that it's very easy to smash things like cheeks or any sort of rounded spot, faces, eyes. So you have to learn to hold it very lightly. I never really thought about that till I started showing some other people how to make things, and then, sorry about that loud noise. The microphone probably canceled it, but it probably canceled my voice too. I never really thought about it till I showed other people how to make things, and they kept unintentionally smashing parts of their sculptures. Because I use the softer clays, it's very easy to do that when you're holding something. If you put pressure on the wrong side. So I always thought of it the same way you hold like an eggshell or something. It's not quite that, it's not nearly that fragile, but that kind of delicacy when you're working with something like this. Just so that you don't ruin all your hard work. And it's also smart to try to plan things out so that you don't do super fine details before you finish attaching all the pieces. Because, for example, I'm going to do some fur type details down his back to give him a bit of a hedgehog appearance. I'm probably going to do that last after I have his legs and everything together, because if I don't, you can see where I'm holding, I would smash everything I did on his back with my fingers while I'm working on, you know, the rest of his body. So always try to do it in a way that makes sense. That may seem like common sense, but a lot of times you get so involved you don't really think about it until you've accidentally smashed something you were working on. Done that quite a few times, so I kind of learned the hard way. Go. So next we're probably gonna do the legs. And I was a little iffy on like, should I do, you know, pig leg? Should I do the hedgehog's little hand type feet, almost like mice feet? And I was really unsure. Still not sure what I want to do, to be honest. But I think let me see here. I think I'm gonna go with hooves. Because I do think the description is meant to be more pig-like. So we'll go with the hooves. When we're not certain, we'll go with pig features. I'm looking here, it's like pigs don't really... They have a neck, but they don't have much of a neck, and hedgehogs don't have it at all. So it's almost like you sort of blend it in together. So, I think that's a pretty decent... I actually gave it more of a neck probably than it has. But, let's do that. I'll do the other leg here real quick, and then we'll work on the little hoofed feet, and then we'll have to do the back legs. Back legs are harder just because that's always you gotta angle them right and make it look proper. Alright, blend that in. Alright, we got some of his legs there. We're gonna have to... I'm not getting that head tilt I really want. There we go. And his face up. There we go. That way he's sitting like that. It looks a little creepy half finished. But it'll look better in a second here. Alright, we gotta do the back legs. The back legs are almost just like little rounded spot. Hold on. There we go. Alright, we got one there. Now let's do the other one. Those aren't quite the right size. Let me... And then add this to it. There we go. Alright, we gotta attach these. Attach that there. Alright, so now we have the base. Okay. I think it stick out a little too much there. There we go. Now we gotta do the hooves. So, let me look at pig hooves. Okay, so they look almost like two toenails. Like that. Okay. It looks like they have almost like, what's it called? Almost like a dew claw. Kind of like the dogs have back up here. And then there's tufts of fur all around the top of the hoof. So we're going to do this, flatten it a bit, hold it into two toes, like that. And then form the little dew claw thingy, hoof I guess in this case, back up here. Bend this a bit, because and so it looks a little jointed and not quite. There we go. And then we can do these guys, the back hooves. Let's see. Excuse me. Okay. There we go. So we have our basic shape here. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna add some tufts of fur because it looks like, or some fur marks, I guess, that we're gonna paint all the way down. Because I think the hooves won't quite look accurate until we do that. Alright. Now we're gonna add some ears. So roughly this size. This size, a little bigger. There we go. Stop. Okay, and there's the other ear, so we have 2 ears. Hold on, where did he go on the hedgehogs? So the hedgehog's ears are actually a little rounded, so I think we're gonna do the in-between. So we're gonna take off what I just did and make it like that, because I think that'll be a nice in-between. Make it a little rounder. There we go. So it's still pointed but rounded. There we go. And then There, he's got ears. Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll the tips down just a tad more so that they're rounded. There, that way it doesn't look quite pig-like. Alright. Let me... Alright. Now that we have this, I gotta look at the hedgehog nose. Let's see. Blow up hedgehog nose. Because it looks a bit rounded. And we're gonna do that. And we're gonna do, let's see, it's like a little, it's like an upside down comma actually. So, we're gonna do... Alright, and where's the hedgehog little mouth? I think is under here. So, what I want to do is put a, put a little coin in its mouth. But, gotta... Okay. And this coin is one I found, I think it was at work somewhere. I think it's Korean, judging by the language on it. Not positive yet, but I just saw it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I like picking up coins. I don't know how we get them, but we get them from all over the place sometimes, and it's really cool. I like to grab them and keep them, exchange them out if I find them, because a lot of times people will give them as quarters, so I put a real quarter in the drawer and then take that one out. But, yeah. Found it somewhere. And exchanged one of my quarters for it. But, yeah. I don't think I'm going to use this coin in the actual sculpture. I'm just using it as a placeholder. Because I think I want to sculpt a coin. But I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I may either get like a quarter, like a real coin, I don't want to use one of my coins like this that I found somewhere, because I like looking at them. So, alright, so I think that's our basic shape is done. So it's a cross between a hedgehog and a pig face. It's looking more pig-like, but that's fine. Then we're gonna add, down the back here, we are going to add a whole ridge of fur to make it look more hedgehog-like. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a rough piece of clay like this. We're gonna thin out the edges so we can blend it, okay? Well, I guess we're not really blending it too much, but we're gonna do this to here. And then I think it needs to go down further on the forehead, like to there. That looks better. More like in the middle of the forehead. And then we'll press it down better, like that. And then just a really thick pattern. Like that. Then we gotta figure out what we're doing for the tail. Alright. Okay, then we'll attach this right here. Okay, and then blend it just a little. I'm not like blending it smoothly, I just want enough so that it's stuck on here. And then I can add more details later. I just need it to be thoroughly attached so that I can work on it. And then There we go. So now he's got a nice furry patch on his back that looks a bit like a hedgehog. I give him little sad eyes, like that. Okay, that's cute. Okay. And now for a tail. I feel like I want to give him an unusual tail. So this is going to be super artistic license, but I want to give him a long tail. Along my ox-like tail. No particular reason, I just think it would look cute. So I'm going to take a lot of artistic license, but I like using my artistic license. I have it for a reason. In a lot of mythology, it's interesting to see how drawings and portrayals change over time. If there's a lot of specific illustration, I attempt to follow it to a degree. But in the case of this one, there really wasn't a ton, and I'm not even fully sure what all of it's supposed to look like, so I don't feel too bad bringing some of my own elements into it. It's kind of like everyone's doing it with wings, but I don't know that that's actually accurate. It didn't seem to be. So we'll do this. And we'll wrap it around the back of his leg here so that it doesn't get messed up. Sorry, I pulled that out of frame again. A really bad habit of doing that because I like to work with things directly in front of my face. There we go. So he's got a little tail now. And I always tuck the tails against the leg typically because they're very fragile, they break easy, and if you have it against something, it's less likely to snap off or break. Okay, so we have that, but the belly is still a bit rough. We have his face, we have most of his back done. I think I'm going to do a little line of fur here. Okay. Alright. Now comes the other thing, which is most pigs have a little bit of fur on them all over. But it's very smooth and small. So I think I'm gonna see what I can do with a brush. It's like I need something in between the brush and the the brush and this. I think I do have, oh, I do have toothpicks. Toothpicks might be perfect. So that I can do just like a faint bit of a hair pattern beside the fur that we've already done, the rougher fur. Do the rest of the fur pattern. We're not probably going to do it everywhere, but I think right here around the nose is a good spot. Add a little texture. I think I'll do some on the cheeks. Just a little bit. Do some on the chin. Like this. So he'll look something like this. I just gotta figure out what coin I'm gonna use for him, because I don't want to use this one. I like keeping this one. But I want something about that size. I might just get a quarter. But I don't actually know if I have a quarter. I think I do. I would like to use a slightly cooler coin than a quarter. Because I don't think you'd be having that great of luck if you caught this little guy and he's like, oh, here's a quarter, here's 25 cents. It's not even enough to get anything out of a vending machine. So, I feel like it should be a larger amount, or at least look like it is. But I might just use it because it is the most convenient silver coin that I have access to. Alright. Alright, now we'll do some on the legs. Just a little bit. Tiny bit on the leg. Because I wanted to achieve that look that pigs have, because they have a slight, like, noticeable little bits of fur around their hooves. They technically have it over the body, it's just that it ends at the hooves, so it's more noticeable there. But I think that'll make these hooves look a little nicer. Okay, we'll do it on this one. I apologize, that texture doesn't show up terribly clearly on video, because it's so faint. But, let me see, I don't know if you can see it. If the camera adjusts, you can see it. Yeah, you can see that. Okay. So we have our little Arkan Sonney, the little cross between the hedgehog and the pig. I'm liking him. We're almost finished. He's pretty cute. I just gotta put a coin in his mouth and finish up my little texture pieces here. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to bake him with a coin in his mouth too, because if I don't, the clay can warp slightly, because when it's warm it loses its strength, and it will sometimes bend if you're putting, you know, too much weight on it, so his little lip might bend downward. It doesn't usually, unless it's like a very large, long piece that you're putting too much weight on, but it's a possibility, so it's always good. Even if you just put like a placeholder into something to keep pieces of it from bending or warping when you're cooking it. It doesn't happen very often, but it can happen with specific things. I gotta do the back legs. Alright. And then I think I'll just do the belly with the brush all over. So we get a very faint fur texture. I gotta fix the hooves here. Right. Put the little placeholder coin in his mouth for a second. Alright, the only last thing, I want to make these hooves look a little more realistic for the ones that are sitting up here. Let's see. What does the underside of it look like? Oh, they really don't actually have that much texture. Hold on. They're a little rough, but they're not really... I was thinking it would have more texture, but it doesn't really. I think we'll just do that. Alright, there we go. Do a little texture on the back of the ears, because usually there's a tiny bit of fur on most animals' ears, like right here, and then it gets thinner and thinner as you get to the edge of the ear. So we'll do that. But I think we're pretty much done. I think that's our little guy. He's pretty cute. Alright, I think we're finished with today's video. How long was that? It was only an hour and 13 minutes, but he's pretty tiny and there's not a whole lot of detail that I had to do. But yeah, you can see his back. If I can get him to sit like he would from the front. Let me turn him this way. There you go. See his little hooves. He's going to be predominantly white, so it probably won't take me very long to paint him either. But I think he's pretty cute. I like his face. I think I got the cross between Hedgehog Pig pretty good, but that is my take on the Arkan Sonney. I think he's pretty cute. Alright. So if you enjoyed this video, please comment or like or just interact with it in some way, even if you don't necessarily watch all of it. I greatly appreciate any help that you can give me in that regard. But thank you for watching, or at least watching part of it. If you came this far, I really appreciate that. I will be posting a 1-minute edit by the time I'm finished, but we'll have to paint him first. So there'll be a painting video and then a 1-minute edit. I'm trying to do 1 sculpture a month, and I'm going to try to add a couple interesting little tidbits about dice and other artwork I do in addition to the sculptures. But thank you for watching so much.